Good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Rev Kylie Renner, and on behalf of the entire One Spiritual Center community, I want to welcome you here today. Thank you for bringing your love and your light into this space today. I'm going to actually ask you to take a breath with me, because I have had one incredibly busy week, and there has been more that has happened and has gone on that feels like what a beautiful opportunity just to take a breath, to take this opportunity to breathe together, to bring ourselves present. So I'm really excited because we're at the phase of our project at home where things start to actually look like something. So there's all these things that happen behind the scenes. There's electrical that has to happen and plumbing, and you got to decide where things are going and how it's going to work. And then finally, after months, things start to come together. And so it was almost a year ago that I had a vision for what the fireplace in one of our bedrooms was going to look like. And I knew somehow Zephyr would figure out how to do it. That's one of his specialties, is figuring out how to do what it is I have a vision for, even if we don't have the right tools. And so this week we got that 100-pound sheet of steel cut and bent and put on the wall. And man, it's beautiful. And it's amazing how when those things that have happened beneath the surface start to come into form, that there's this energy field that starts to be created where we realize that all of that stuff's been happening beneath the surface the whole time. So if you're not quite there yet in that energy of the things are starting to show up, I'm inviting you into this space today to open to that idea that it can start to happen here. That whatever it is that's been growing beneath the surface can start to show up, so that energy and that aliveness of realizing that there's a vision moving forward can enliven you and excite you in a new way. So I've also been working powerfully with the New Mexico Faith Coalition for Immigrant Justice this week, and I'll tell you a little bit more about what we've been working on later. But I just want to honor that energy of things shifting and changing, and how it is that we get to show up in that. So I am grateful you are here today, and if you are comfortable praying with me, please close your eyes. We're just going to take that energy of things shifting, the energy of life knowing how to unfold itself, and we're going to allow ourselves to be immersed in it. Recognizing that all of the things that have been shifting and changing and transforming inside of ourselves become things that we then get to live. They are the life that we get to bring forth. And so I just know that spirit and love and peace and power are present here and now, because they are who we are. They are the source of all that is. And we allow that energy inside of us to move more freely as we bring awareness and aliveness to life itself, to this whole crazy mess that we're doing together on the outside. And so I just recognize that we have been called here by divine appointment this morning. That all those who are in the sound of my voice are interconnected in this higher vision that is seeking to bring itself forward. And I just know that we are supported in that in a way that is bigger and more powerful than we realize. And so today I give it over. I hand it over to that wisdom that exists inside of each of us, and I just know that we will give and receive exactly what we need here today. I know that we are already blessed. And so I let go into this time, and I let it be. And so it is.
There's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. there's no countries. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. No religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. All walking hand in hand. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one.
So we're going to prepare the way for meditation with a reading. But I want everyone to see John's ukulele so we can get the giggles out first, because he brought his electric ukulele this morning. And it looks like a toy to me, so I took some pretty funny pictures earlier that I will be using to tease John for the rest of his life. So we get the giggles out, and today our topic is awareness. And so I found this piece by the Buddha. Awareness is the path of immortality. Thoughtlessness is the path of death. Those who are aware do not die. The thoughtless are as if dead already. The wise, having clearly understood this, delight in awareness and find joy in the knowledge of the noble ones. These wise ones, meditative, persevering, always using strong effort, attain nirvana, the supreme peace and happiness. If a person is awake, aware, mindful, pure, considerate, self-restrained, and lives according to duty, that person's glory will increase by awakening, by awareness, by restraint and control. The wise may make for oneself an island in which no flood can overwhelm. Fools follow after vanity, are ignorant and careless. The wise keep awareness as their best treasure. Do not follow after vanity, nor after sensual pleasure, nor lust. Whoever meditates with awareness obtains great joy. When the wise conquer thoughtlessness by awareness, climbing the terraced heights of wisdom, free from sadness, viewing the sad crowd below, they gaze upon the fools like one on the mountain peak gazes upon those standing on the plain. Aware among the thoughtless, awake among the sleepy, the wise advances like a racehorse leaves behind the slow. By awareness, Idra rose to become chief of the gods. People praise awareness. Thoughtlessness is always blamed. A mendicant who finds joy in awareness, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness moves about like fire, burning all restrictions, small or large. The seeker who finds joy in awareness, who looks with fear on thoughtlessness, cannot fall away, but is close to nirvana. So we take this energy of awareness and this idea that we get to burn through with awareness anything that could possibly be standing in the way. And we allow the beautiful music created by our ukulele meditation to take us wherever it is our wisdom needs to take us this morning.
have a very, very special guest this morning. And he's got the best socks I've seen in a long time, really. Amazing singer, Michael Herndon. They can't see your socks, Mike. You better show them your socks. All right.
Oh, do go on. Good morning. How are we? Oh, we can do better than that. How are we? Okay. I just feel the need to say this. Did you ever wish we lived in Gene Roddenberry's version of the world? I do. Okay, shall we proceed? Just yesterday morning, they let me know you were gone. Susan, the plans they made put an end to you. I walked out this morning and I wrote down this song. Just can't remember who to send it to. Oh, I've seen fire and I've seen rain. I've seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. Oh, but I always thought I'd see you. Won't you look down upon me, Jesus? You gotta help me make a stand. You got to see me through another day. My body's aching and my time is at hand. I won't make it any other way. Oh, oh, I see fire and I see rain. I seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you. Oh, oh, oh. Been walking my mind through an easy time, my back turned toward the sun. Lord knows when the cold wind blows, it'll turn a man around. I've been spending my time on the telephone line, talking about the things that come, like sweet dreams and flying machines, pieces on the ground. Oh yeah, oh, I see fire and I see rain. I seen sunny days that I thought would never end. Seen lonely times when I could not find a friend. But I always thought I'd see you. Oh, thought I'd see you one more time again. Just a few things coming my way. Oh, oh, oh no, oh yeah, oh no. Thought I'd see you, wanna see you. Oh, thought I'd see you.
Thank you. That's Michael Herndon.
Oh, Michael, thank you. So Michael and I actually talked earlier in the week, and we were just talking about what's going on in life and the world and how we navigate it. And then I get a text from Sid on Friday. Guess who our guest is on Sunday? It's awesome. Love it when it works that way. Always works that way. So I came across a quote a few weeks ago that really stuck with me, and I realized that there was something powerful that was stated so simply that I needed to eventually preach about it. And so today it happens to be the day that it's coming into fruition. And this is a Eckhart Tolle quote. And what he says is, awareness is the greatest agent of change. Awareness is the greatest agent of change. And so I think this is powerful for a lot of different reasons, but one is that I think that sometimes we think that force is the greatest agent of change, or intention is the greatest agent of change, or whatever it is that we think is the agent of change, and we forget that it's actually awareness. That it is the awareness of what is going on in ourselves and in the world that is actually the agent of change, not the thing that comes after the awareness. And I really believe that this is important because I think we often put our attention on what comes after the awareness instead of the awareness itself. That we spend so much time cultivating these ideas about how it's going to come into form that we forget that it's the awareness itself that is the agent of change. So when things happen in consciousness and we observe what's going around inside of us and around us, there's this amazing power that is unleashed that actually has the capacity to change things on a level that is deeper than the one that we thought we were operating on. And I think that this is important right now in these times that we're living in because it's really easy to get distracted and caught up in things external and not realize that it's the awareness itself that needs our disciplined attention. So I've been practicing this and playing with it in a deeper way. And I had remembered that years ago I had read a book by Anthony DeMello. And if you don't know who he was a Jesuit priest who was excommunicated for being too loving towards other faiths. And it just didn't fit. He was too open to this idea that we are all one. And so he was excommunicated, and he had this way of sharing these stories and these ideas. And one of the stories he tells is about that I had remembered reading was about a student who went to his master and said, "Can you give me a word of wisdom? Could you tell me something that would guide me through my days?" And it was the master's day of silence. So he picked up his pad and wrote down awareness. And when the disciples saw, he said, "Well, that's too brief. Can you expand a bit? Awareness isn't cutting it." And so the master took the pad, broke back, and wrote awareness, awareness, awareness. And the disciple said, but what does it mean?" And the master took his pad back and said, awareness, awareness, awareness means awareness. And that always stuck with me. And I realized when I went back to read some of Anthony DeMello's work, when I was really struck by this idea of how powerfully he speaks to this notion that we have to be really mindful about what's going on inside of us. This is the essence of New Thought, but it's also this thing that I think we have to take to a different level, that it's not just being mindful or aware of what's going on around us, but like being really aware of where our attention is inside. Is our attention really on the fact that awareness is an agent of change? Or is it on all of the things that we think need to shift and change in order for us to be aware? And can we bring our awareness in a deeper way? So this is another piece that Anthony DeBello wrote that really spoke to me. Come home to yourself. Observe yourself. This is why I say that self-observation is such a delightful and extraordinary thing. After a while, you don't even have to make an effort, because as illusions begin to crumble, you begin to know things that cannot be described. It's called happiness. Everything changes when you become addicted to awareness. So I love that idea that we all could get addicted to awareness. Addicted to being really aware about what's going on inside of us. And not just aware of the things that make us feel good, but aware of all of the places inside of us where we're blocking all of our good, or all those places where we're still holding pockets of fear or doubt. And this capacity we have then to bring awareness in this deeper way that isn't about this kind of gradual becoming more and more aware, but this commitment to constantly and radically deepen our awareness. And this takes discipline, because I think we get to a place where we feel like we're aware enough. Like, I'm aware of most of my negative thinking. I am aware of most of how I'm operating in the world. I'm aware of most of it, but there's all these little pockets that have been left unexamined, and the kind of radical commitment to awareness, that kind of addiction to awareness requires us to look at all those other places too. Requires us to look at it, especially if it makes us uncomfortable. Especially if it makes us have to examine something that we didn't feel like we were ready to examine, because that's what it's about. Like this spiritual path that we are on is about going deeper into that place where we get to examine with clarity those things and be aware of them, not because they are actually something negative, but because they are portals to our freedom. Because there are portals to that happiness that DeMello talks about, that awareness actually brings that about if we are willing to do it fearlessly. And so I just realized that there is an opportunity for us to look at things more closely and bring awareness to places that we may not have questioned before. So there's another famous story about a lion who came upon a flock of sheep, and to his amazement, he found a lion among the sheep. And it was a lion who had been brought up by the sheep ever since he was a cub. He would bleat like a sheep and run around like a sheep. Can you imagine it? It's very cute. And the lion went straight up to him. And when the sheep lion stood in front of the real one, he trembled from limb to limb. And the lion said to him, "What are you doing among the sheep?" And the sheep lion said, "I am a sheep." And the lion said, "Oh, no, you're not. You're coming with me." And so he took the sheep lion to a pool and said, "Look." And then the sheep lion looked at his reflection in the water. He let out a mighty roar, and in that moment he was transformed. He was never the same again. So this is a story about what we've bought into. What we have bought into, what ideas we have about ourselves, and what the power of awareness when we look at our reflection and see ourselves truly. See who we really are. And there's this great power for that moment to be totally and completely transformative. And I love that this sheep lion lets out a roar and becomes himself, because it feels like sometimes when we bring awareness to things in our lives, instead of letting out that roar of jubilation, of remembering and joy that inside of us, that celebration of that accomplishment, of that awareness, that instead of doing that, we feel badly that we thought we were a sheep. And we spend all of our time and all of our energy making excuses for all that time we were a sheep. And we tell all these stories that focus on how we were a sheep. And we now know, and we now have awareness, and instead of using that, we turn all of our energy backwards. So I am really interested in this idea that we can be the changed person. That we can be that person of awareness. And we can be that call for that awareness to be even deeper. We can be the changed one, not so focused on what has changed. And I think that this is how we start to access our awareness in a more powerful way, because you know what? I don't know. I'd rather be in the celebration of that roar of remembering who I am than feeling bad for all of the things that I didn't remember and all of that time spent not remembering. And we can do awareness that way, but what I really believe is that awareness is meant to set us free from that which was. And if we are really willing to take that leap, that there's this roar inside of us that's ready to be unleashed, that says, I have this power inside of me coming from awareness that is asking for me to open in a much deeper way, without the idea of where it is that I'm going, but a more powerful version of this awareness transforming the very core of who I am. And that's the kind of awareness I think that Eckhart Tolle is talking about, right? That agent of change is that awareness that says, I'm a lion. That I have lived as a sheep. I know how sheep work, but I am a lion. And that awareness is the agent of change, the energy of the change that we're looking for. So I'm been full of stories for the last couple weeks, so I have another story for you. And this is a story about an archer. And an archer that is shooting for no particular prize, has all his skills. But when he shoots for a brass buckle, he gets nervous. And when he shoots for a gold prize, he goes blind and sees 2 targets. And then he is out of his mind, and his skill hasn't changed, but the prize divides him. He cares. He thinks more about winning than shooting, and the need to win drains him of his power. So I was struck by this story because it feels as if when we bring our intention for awareness to only winning, that we drain ourselves of power, because what awareness is attempting to do in us is not just point us in one direction. And it's not just going to point us in the direction we think we're bringing awareness around. That in fact, that awareness requires us to use the skill and the intention in whatever direction we're pointed. And we can't get focused on, well, I thought it was supposed to look that way. Or I thought I was going to get that prize. Or I thought I needed that prize. We have to be willing to go deeper into that awareness and allow it to move through us. So one of the things I realize is that awareness is really important, because what it does is leads us to this opportunity we have to become catalysts for a deeper change. And catalysts for change where we bring our wisdom and our attention and our awareness, as well as our integrity, to whatever it is, though, that we are called to, so that we bring into form the change that we're looking for. And there's this beautiful synergy that happens when we are able and allow for a deeper way of awareness to move through us. And so this is what I want you to hear. Just the place where you are, that awareness is perfect for right now. And wherever you are 10 minutes from now, that awareness is perfect too. But you get to be committed and addicted to that awareness inside of you, being that which guides you and allows for a deeper walk to happen. And you get to do it over and over and over. And it doesn't mean that it wasn't perfect, right, like it was, but that there is something deeper that is happening. So there's a famous Zen saying that many of you may know, which is that you are perfect as you are and you could use a little work. And I think that that's the call with our awareness right now. It's like we're perfect as we are, and our awareness could use a little work. Our awareness could go deeper. And if we just use that lightness with it, I recognize in myself that lightness allows for it to flow in an easier way, because I'm not striving to hit that target. I'm not striving for some prize that I think I'm going to get from that awareness. I am doing it because of awareness. Because I'm doing it because of that recognition that awareness is really where it happens. So as we practice this deeper together, I just recognize that we have all have opportunities in our lives to bring more awareness. That there are places where we have blind spots. There are places that we have left unexamined. And I just want to honor the fact that it may feel scary or that like we don't have the tools to bring awareness to those places. But if we are willing, the way will be made clear. There's a wisdom inside of us that knows how. It knows exactly how to bring whatever it is that needs to come to the surface. And honestly, I've found that it happens without me wanting it to often. So the power of being willing to invite it in, that awareness in, can allow for us to more powerfully operate. So one of the most powerful examples that I have found of someone talking about this kind of bringing this awareness to life actually came from a segment of David Foster Wallace's commencement address he gave a few years before he died. And he has this beautiful way of articulating this bringing awareness piece. And so this is what he says. The capital T truth is about life before death, not life after death. It's about the real value of a real education, which has almost nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with simple awareness. Awareness of what is so real and essential, so hidden in plain sight all around us all the time, that we have to keep reminding ourselves over and over, this is water. This is water. And I love that image of this going through life, just remembering with our awareness what is so essential. And being like a fish surrounded in water all of the time, finally bringing awareness to the fact that we're in water. This is water. Or in this case, this is air. This is air. This is air. And the power of that awareness of what is so real and essential has the power to change everything. And it really is that easy. So I'm going to ask the band to join me as we pray ourselves, pray ourselves into prayer singing. That's what we're doing. But we're going to pray ourselves into a place of higher consciousness together. And so I'm actually going to invite you to take whatever it is maybe in your life that could use some more awareness. Maybe it's something you already have knowledge about, or maybe you just are looking for your guidance to put you in the right direction for this whole, what can we be more aware of? And we're going to allow our prayer together to lift that higher. So we're going to sing first. Please join me.
lifts us high, it heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high, it heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high, it heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high, it heals us, sustains us, sets us free.
And so our prayer of love today is the prayer that sets us free. It is the prayer that allows for us to bring more awareness, more wisdom, more peace, and more power into our lives so that we may be catalysts for the change that we really want to be living in. Catalysts for this deeper vision, this higher power to come more fully into form through our willingness to be conduits for that awareness. So we get out of the way of our limitations and our ideas about how that needs to go, and we commit ourselves to radical awareness. Awareness of who we are and who we want to be and what we believe is possible. And we are willing to take that deeper, be clearer in that, be a firmer stand for our awareness than we have ever been before, because we know that that is the call of Spirit itself. And that is the invitation we have accepted by being here on this planet at this time. We have accepted the invitation for deeper awareness. And so we stop making excuses and we stop looking backwards and we open to the roar that is in us, that just remembers how truly powerful and magnificent each and every one of us is. And when we open to that awareness, that change that is lurking beneath the surface has this capacity to come into form in more beautiful ways than we could have ever imagined. Because awareness is the agent of change. And so we let that awareness grow and deepen and soften and open. And we just recognize that it will continue to point the way. So we put our focus there on awareness. We open our eyes to being alive and aware and awake on this planet, and we use that awareness for the power of good, for the power of a world in which we remember that we are one. And I just know how blessed we are to have this opportunity to remember and recommit to that awareness, because I know that Spirit is celebrating with us. That part of ourselves that is just so ready to break free is celebrating our willingness to look clearly at our reflection and see that deep power and that deep wisdom. And so I just know that it continues to grow and that we continue to be supported in this, and I know that we are blessed. I know that we are a blessing. I let go into it. And I let it be. And so it is.
Prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free. Our prayer of love lifts us high. It heals us, sustains us, sets us free.
Once again, Michael Herndon. Michael Herndon.
Yeah. It has been brought to my attention, though it wasn't intentionally done, that I matched the carpets.
We appreciate that.
I mean, what? You got to coordinate, bro. You got to coordinate. Yeah, it's like you kind of vanish if you don't move, you know? I mean, oh, that's why I love being here. Thank you for making it worse. Thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. Yeah, if I wasn't self-conscious before, thank you.
No, it's okay. I matched the drums to the carpets.
Nah, him I like. Yeah. Okay. You want to come on? Let's do this, boys.
1, 2, 3.
People make the world go round. Trashman didn't get my trash today. Oh, why? Because they want more pay. Buses on strike gonna raise the fare so they can help pollute the air. But that's what makes the world go round, the ups and downs of carousels, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. Wall Street losing dough on every share. They're blaming it on dreadlock hair. Big men smoking in the easy chair, on a fat cigar without a care. But they're what makes the world go round, the ups and downs of carousels. Ooh, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. What makes the world go round, the ups and downs of carousels, changing people's heads around. Go underground, young man. People make the world go round. People make the world go round. Oh, yeah. People make the world go round. Up and down, side to side. Oh, yeah. People make the world go round. Round, round, and round, and round, and round. Ooh, oh, baby. Make the world go, make the world go round. People make the world go round. Oh. Spinning and spinning and spinning. Oh, yeah. People make the world go round, go round, go round. People make the world go round, round and round, round, round.
Michael Herndon.
Thank you,
Michael
everyone.
Herndon.
Thank you, Michael. So now is the time where we move into the sharing of our tithes and offerings. I invite you to take whatever it is you brought to share with this community today and hold it over your heart. We also have a link on our website if you'd like to give electronically. There's up on the screen directions for that. And I just invite you to take whatever it is that you are offering today and hold it with the intention of awareness. Hold it with that intention of expanded awareness that leads to deeper freedom, that leads to greater change. And just allowing for that energy to flow, I just recognize this opportunity we have to commit more deeply to just being aware of what's going on inside of us on every level. And allowing that awareness to act as that catalyst. So how sweet it is to just be able to share in that as we lift each other up. And we just pour that energy over each person in this room and within the sound of my voice as we continue to allow for this sense of community to expand. And so we're going to take that energy, and our ushers are going to come through the aisles, and we have a song to sing into that.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun up in the sky, well, you know how I feel. Breezes drifting by, well, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. For me, I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, well, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, well, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean. Butterflies are having fun, well, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, that is what I mean. This old world's a new world and a bold world for me. Stars, when you shine, you know how I feel. The scent of the pine, well, you know how I feel. Freedom is mine, and I know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life. And I'm feeling good. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling
So we're just taking all of the energy and all of the love and all of the awareness that is in this space today and offering it up to a higher wisdom. Just allowing for it to expand in every direction. And so I bless that which has been given, that which has been received. And I bless this opportunity we have to let that love move more freely and more powerfully through us, through our awareness, and through our capacity to change at the deepest levels. I just speak my word into the law. I know it is good. I let it be. And so it is. So I just have a few things to let you know about. The first is I want to express my gratitude for those who came out to cook yesterday for Community of Hope. On the behalf of this community this afternoon, 100 people are going to be served a delicious meal that's going to feed their bodies and their souls. And so next week, we will be at Roadrunner Food Bank from 11 to 2, and if you are available to be there, we'd love to have you. The only stipulations for that are, even though it's hot and it's summertime, you have to wear closed-toed shoes and shirts with sleeves. Just reminding you, because I don't want to have to send you home because they won't let you in. It's the rules of the warehouse. So that's next Saturday from 11 to 2. And so those are a couple of the service things that are going on. But if you're our friend on Facebook or have liked our page, you will notice that we got a call. The New Mexico Faith Coalition for Immigrant Justice got a call yesterday telling us that the second phase of family reunification is we're starting, and a lot of it's going to be happening through Albuquerque. So what's going to happen is between today and Wednesday, about 250 to 350 people, mostly fathers, are going to be reunited with their children and come through Albuquerque on their way to other places. And so what they're requesting from the community is that we provide some resources for these people who are being let out of detention to be able to make that next step as quickly and as painlessly as possible. So what we have is a very specific request of some things that we're collecting over the next few days. So they're looking for specifically food and water, so anything that's easily packed, like bottled waters, paper plates, plastic utensils. They're also looking for clothing. We got actually a specific request since I printed these, which these are available out at the info table, but for socks and underwear. Also, they're looking for backpacks for both children and adults, toys and stuffed animals, and hygiene products. And so you are welcome to pick up one of these flyers. They're collecting things at Albuquerque Fire Station number 2 for the next few days. And also, if you are interested in donating money, I am more than willing to go and do the shopping for you. So you can make all of that happen at the info table, but it's just, the call is this idea that we can make a difference in these families' lives right now. So if you don't know a little bit about what's been going on in New Mexico over the last few weeks, there's been obviously some court rulings that have required this reunification process to happen at a certain point. And so over the last 2 weeks, the New Mexico Faith Coalition has actually coordinated the transportation of 6 mothers across New Mexico to get to other transportation services so that they can get to their children. There's also been in the next few days, there's going to be a huge number of transgender people released from the detention center in Cibola, and they're requesting anyone who speaks Spanish who might be willing to go to the airport and help them through the process of getting to their gates and such to help that process. So if you are interested in maybe you're interested in driving a mother across the state because they're being released without documents that allow them to travel on an airplane. So the request is, if you're interested in driving or interested in helping in any of those capacities, I have access to getting you connected to all of those things where you can make a difference. So please let me know. And I just know that the community in Albuquerque and the community in New Mexico is so perfectly poised to make a really big difference in what's going on right now. And so I thank you for giving me energy and hope around that. So if you can't help in any of those ways, but just want to send prayer and energy towards these families, I hope you will join me in that. It's a crazy time for a lot of people. So let us continue to lift each other up and be really aware about what's going on. So I thank you for bringing your love into this space. And I'm more than happy to answer any questions about this list. And please pick one up and share it on Facebook if you haven't already shared our post, just so more and more people can know what the need is and how we can support these families. So, with that, let us sing. Let us sing our song that we close with. Please join me.
One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready, there's a train a-coming. Don't need no baggage, you just get on home. All you need is faith, with a diesel humming. You don't need no tickets, you just thank the Lord. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. People get ready for the train to Jordan. It's picking up passengers from coast to coast. Faith is the key. Open the doors and boredom. There's room for all and love. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. One love, one heart. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright. Let's give thanks to the Lord, and we can feel alright.
So please join us as we bless each other with our benediction.
Go forth and walk in